Good morning, friends. Welcome to episode number 103, the penultimate episode of our Let's Play. As you can see, we have our last unique team with us. We have the three legendary beasts, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei, as well as three very powerful legendaries, the Uber tier, you might hear them called, Lugia, Dialga, and Zekrom. So, this is going to be a bit of a three-part episode, and we're going to start by having Suicune in the lead. And I have him holding a Life Orb. Actually, that might be a little bit too powerful given the item levels, although maybe not. But I think I'm going to give him actually like a Citrus Berry, just because I don't really want to be losing 10% of my HP every time. And it also might make it a little more interesting if... Oh, not use, give. If our enemies might have a chance to fight back. So yeah, we're going to start by using Suicune, then we'll use the other two legendary dogs, and then the other three members of our party. But I figure for Suicune, we'll just face off against these two trainers here, starting with this ground-type user. Should be nice and easy. And as you can see, we trained up all the Pokemon to fairly decent levels, and I'll explain why as we get a little bit further into the episode. I was training them at first against the random trainers around the world, and also some of the Mauville trainers. And then eventually I kind of realized, why don't I just use them against the Pokemon League? And that made things a lot faster. Alright, so Nidoqueen is weak to 3 of our 4 moves. But we'll go ahead and use Surf because it also gets the same type attack bonus. Definitely a one-shot. And Rhyperior, very cool Pokemon, but also doubly weak to Surf. Well, also weak to Surf, I should say, and unlike Nidoqueen, Rhyperior is doubly weak. Alright, so far so good. One thing I was thinking about as I face the Pokemon League again, also, they do, you do get a chance to choose a Generation 4 starter as well when you beat them a second time. Alright. Garchomp takes even damage from Surf, but times 4 super effective from Ice Beam, however it is faster. And that'll give it a chance to use Dragon Rush. Didn't do too much damage though. And there we go. So as I was facing the Pokemon League again, I was thinking about what Pokemon I would give Steven if I was the developer who had that power. And I think, alright, so Surf should be evenly effective, but Gastrodon can have, I think it's called Storm Drain, which makes it, well, it can have Storm Drain, but it can also have, I think, Water Absorb, which makes water moves heal it. So let's go ahead and just use Ice Beam. So I think I would have left Steven with Skarmory, Aggron, and Metagross. Mega Metagross, obviously, although I would have given it Earthquake. Also, it seems that the AI is just using whatever move will do the most damage, regardless of like mischance or anything else. And because of that, his Mega Metagross will almost always use exclusively Giga Impact, which is kind of sad, because it's really not that great of a move. Especially when you have Meteor Mash and Zen Headbutt as alternatives. I think it'll only use them if, I guess either if it is recovered, this could be bad. Let's use Shadow Ball, that could reduce its special defense. I could just switch, but let's give Suicune a chance to shine here. Alright, Body Slam, that will do some damage and could paralyze me. Hopefully won't. I'm going to go for Extra Sensory because that has a 20% crit chance. And if we get that, not crit chance, flinch chance. And if we get that flinch, which we didn't, that would have been really nice, but it's okay because Muddy Water, as long as we don't get an accuracy drop here, 8-hour Berry, that's fine. But yeah, because it didn't use Recover, we should be okay. Yeah, so it's really a shame that Metagross is kind of programmed that way. I guess it would only use one of its stab moves if they were super effective, or if Giga Impact is not very effective against like a Ghost type or a Rock type, but the other moves would be. Alright, let's heal up real quick and give him another Citrus Berry. I've also gone through almost all of our Lepa Berries and a lot of our potions too, so that's at least I got a use out of them. Usually they just sit in my inventory until I guess the internal game battery dies. I should check some of my old games and see if that's the case, but All right, we'll face the Bug Trainer, and then we'll move on to Raikou and Entei. All right, so in addition to those three, I would also, I think, give him probably Tyranitar. It's also a pseudo legendary, so maybe that's a little bit too powerful, but um, it's still pretty slow, has a lot of weaknesses, and I think the Sandstorm would be kind of nice for his team to have. Um, I think I would also probably do Magnezone, which is a very powerful Steel type. Again, it's pretty slow. It's susceptible to Earthquake, so there's that. Um, let's use Extra Sensory, which is super effective against Heracross, since Heracross is part Fighting type. And for the third one, I'm thinking maybe Aegislash, because Aegislash is also like very powerful. Tyranitar isn't Steel type, but since he does kind of use a lot of Rock types, kind of seems like an appropriate replacement for like Armaldo from his previous set. And I guess the idea is they're really trying to give him like rock types, like Pokemon that aren't just rock type but kind of are rocks, like Carbink, or our fossil Pokemon, like Aerodactyl. But I don't know. I still don't think his team is as good as maybe it should be. All right, Leavanny is part Grass type, so we'll prey on that with an Ice Beam. And hopefully Leavanny... Okay, Swords Dance. If it had used like Leaf Blade, we might be in trouble, but I don't think that Swords Dance is going to matter. I actually trained a Leavanny back in my, I think it was White 2? Yeah, it was White 2. That's the one that I have. The boss battle's up on the channel, but not like a whole Let's Play. I will do a whole Let's Play of it eventually with different Pokemon. Hey, level 71, very cool. Alright, Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump's pretty cool, but we're going to keep Surf, just because it has better accuracy. And also we can't delete Surf right now anyway, because it is an HM move. Alright, 2 down, 2 to go. Galvantula is Electric and Bug. So everything we have should be evenly effective. Let's go ahead and use Surf. And Galvantula, that's right, is actually really fast. I might train a Galvantula at some point, we'll see. The cool thing about Generation 5 is that because they introduced 150 new Pokemon, the only time they've done that since Generation 1, there's a lot of cool Pokemon, and I've only trained, I mean, I've trained 12, but there's just so many other ones I want to train. I could probably do at least 2 more teams of interesting Pokemon. Actually, I don't think Galvantula is part of my current plans. I think I have, I think I just don't have the space for it in the team, really. But we'll see. You never know. Alright, and last but not least is Crustal, who is a Bug and Rock type, so this should be nice and easy. So it's funny, it's only been 24 hours, roughly, maybe a little more. Maybe 25 hours since I've recorded the previous episode. That's a good combo there with the Sturdy plus the Shell Smash. Guarantees him a chance to get it off. The thing is, Crustal is so slow. We might still be faster. No, Flail, okay, that's a really good combo. And Suicune held on. Good job, Suicune. Suicune doesn't have the best offensive stats, but has very good defensive stats. Also, look at the animation. Like, I love that animation. Like the little ribbons just like floating around it in the north wind. That's so cool. I almost want to do like a Let's Play where I like just use Legendary Beasts the entire way through, but there's too many others I want to do before then. All right, so let's go ahead and fly to Mauville, and I'm going to switch Entei to the front of our team. Nobody knows Fly, so Latios it will be. Yeah, but since yesterday, I've kind of done almost a 180 since where I was before, maybe a 150, from leaning heavily towards doing Platinum eventually, maybe like in the spring or something, it being currently November, to probably doing Brilliant Diamond instead. Where am I going this way? And maybe even doing it next. No promises. I'm like 40% sure I'll do it next. And I'm not even positive I'm going to do it instead of Platinum. I've been going back and forth, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning that way. Now, right now I'm kind of like 40% wanting to play another Pokemon game, which would be probably Brilliant Diamond. Maybe another 40% playing like an RPG, especially like an open world RPG. There's a couple I'm looking at, but And then I was going to play Kerbal Space Program, but since the sequel's coming out, I might just wait for that. That's kind of the other 20%, I guess, chance. But let me just use a potion, although it really doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is because I want to face some trainers we haven't fought before. Obviously, we've done the both the double and triple battles here at least once on screen, maybe more times. So I do apologize if you're like, oh, you're going to do that again. You've done that before. But we haven't done all the battles, and there's some really cool ones later on. And you also get special rewards for doing the entire series of trainers. In other words, basically defeating every trainer with one move each, which is actually really hard to do. I haven't actually done it yet. But what I am going to do is start by taking on the 2v2 challenge using Entei, who's holding a choice band, and Raikou, who's holding the choice specs. And you can see their moves there. It's a little bit of a unique move set compared to Suicune, who has a more standard move set. But there is a method to my madness. I have a strategy planned out. I've done a little bit of testing. I haven't gone all the way through it, but I think with these high levels and the powerful items and the right moves and a little bit of luck, we can probably do this. Hey, we have more than 1 million Poké Dollars. If only I had more than 1 million real dollars, wouldn't that be nice? Could quit my job and spend the day playing video games, but I'll do the best I can. Not going to read the text, I'm sure we read this before, but I do plan to get a lot further than we've gotten before. And if we do have like a random miss or something, I'll probably just restart off screen and splice it in, but I'll let you know if that happens. Alright, there they are, Entei and Raikou. I especially want to do these because the trainer at the end of the triple battles, one has some cool Pokemon, but also has the 3rd highest levels in the entire game. Unless I've forgotten about somebody. Alright, so we're going to start things off nice and easy. Sacred Fire has a 95% chance, so 19 out of 20. As long as that hits, this one should be no problem at all. Super effective. We probably destroy these two twice over. Alright, it's a hit. Good job, Entei. Very cool looking, very powerful Pokemon, and at long last in Generation 6 they actually have some decent move pools. Alright, 1 down, 5 to go. I think there's 6 battles in the double battles and then 8 in the triple. But they should go pretty quickly. In fact, they're going to have to go pretty quickly because if they go more than one turn, we've essentially lost. Lantern and Jolteon. So if you notice that both these Pokemon have Bulldoze, this is why. Even though Raikou is a special attacker and is holding Choice Specs, which will not buff Bulldoze, we really need them because it's the only move type that Jolteon and Lantern are weak to. And, well, I guess Lantern's weak to Grass. We can't learn any Grass moves, though. And Lantern in particular would resist both of our stab moves. So we're going to do a double Bulldoze here. And it will affect our partners as well. But luckily it just reduces speed and not like attack or anything like that. Also, Raikou goes first, which is nice because Raikou will do less damage to Entei than Entei would do to Raikou, since Entei has a much higher attack stat. And between the two of them, it's going to be close, but I think they should have enough to take out Jolteon and Lantern. Jolteon should be no problem, but Lantern is a little bulky. There we go, okay. 2 for 2. So far things are going well. Although the next battle will require just a little bit of luck. I think we'll have about an 81% chance of Rain Dance. I didn't know I could learn Rain Dance by leveling up, but no thank you on the Rain Dance. But yeah, cross your fingers for me. So I did a little bit of research last night, if you're wondering why I've had the change of heart from playing Platinum to playing Brilliant Diamond. Because I was worried that it wouldn't be much of a challenge, and I haven't like completely decided because I haven't really read too much about reviews. Literally the game came out 2 days ago, so I want to kind of see what the general consensus is. But from what I understand, it sounds like even with the experience all like a built-in feature, you can't turn it off. It seems like the enemies' levels are adjusted to kind of compensate for that, so it's not like super duper easy. Alright, so in this case, Goodra would resist both of our stab attacks. Um, so my first thought was, okay, I'll Sacred Fire Go-Go, which should be an easy one-hit knockout being super effective. And I'll try to use Hyper Beam against Goodra, which is kind of the best attack that Raikou could do against it. And there's no reason not to use Hyper Beam or Giga Impact, because these are one-turn battles anyway, if all goes well. But I realized Goodra actually has a very high special defense stat. So unless I got Raikou to like level 80 or 85 or something, that wasn't going to work. So what I'm going to do instead is use Entei, who is the more powerful physical attacker, to use Giga Impact against Goodra. And since we really can't Thunderbolt Gogoat, since Gogoat would resist it, we're going to use Hyper Beam. So each of these moves has a 90% chance of hitting, which means 81% chance that they both hit. So, you know, about 4 out of 5. We have good odds here, but not perfect odds. So let's hope they both hit. Okay, that is the knockout. And let's hope that this will take out Goodra. I don't know if I've actually tested this battle. I don't think I got this far before, but I don't think I did it with these moves. All right, good. My plan is working. We are halfway there. Cue Bon Jovi. All right, next up should be a little bit, this next matchup should be a little bit easier than that one, or a little bit less risky, I should say. Yeah, so I did some research. I actually did look up, even though I normally don't like to do this, I looked up some of the trainers you face there, including some like the powerful ones, and I'll probably forget most of their Pokemon anyway, although they're not really that different from the original game, so it's really not a big spoiler. And I won't spoil what their Pokemon are in case you don't know. But I will know, or if I remember. We'll see if I remember or not. All right, real quick, we're going to use Sacred Fire against Carnivine, since Carnivine is Grass type. So 95% chance. I probably could use Flamethrower, but I don't want to risk that. And Crunch is actually the best move against Mismagius here, because it has such a low defense stat, even though it's not boosted by our choice specs. I could have taught Raikou Shadow Ball instead. And I'm not really sure if it would do more or less in this situation, but Crunch is enough to knock it out, and it's kind of a cooler move in my opinion, so. Oh no! Oh, there's that 5% chance. Alright guys, well, I'm going to turn off the game real quick and get back to this point, and then I will pick up where we left off. Alright, we are back just where we left off, and the really frustrating thing is that that was the last like roll of the dice. If we had hit Sacred Fire there, then that would have been it. See, I don't know if Flamethrower is going to be a knockout. I think it probably would be, but because Entei is not a special attacker, and because Flamethrower is not boosted by Choice Band, I'm not going to risk it. So let's go ahead and use Crunch on Mismagius and Sacred Fire, and I really hope it hits this time. As long as it hits, and I don't like hit a wrong button. Well, I don't know. The next battle I'm not super sure about. Okay, it hit. Good. Twice in a row would be a very low chance. 1 in 400, I think. If I did my math right there. Alright, level 71. Let's see what Entei... Probably Sunny Day. Let's see what Entei's going to learn. A Fire Blast. Well, that's cool. We could replace Flamethrower, but I'm going to keep my old moves, because the reason I chose Flamethrower is not for its power, because we have Sacred Fire for that, but for its accuracy. Alright, so I think this is as far as I've gotten in my testing. So I'm really hoping that we can defeat the next 2 Pokemon in one turn. I think we can. I sound like the little engine who could, but I guess we'll find out together. If we don't, I'm going to have to like use some rare candies or something and then try this again. But alright, Flareon and Heatmore. 2 fire types. So 2 strategies here. The strategy I was planning to use, and I think I still am, is going to be the Bulldoze strategy again, which is super effective against both Heatmore and Flareon. And I think with the Choice Banded Entei Bulldoze especially, plus Raikou helping out too, that should be enough to take out the 2 Pokemon. I could also do like a Thunderbolt against one, and a Giga Impact against the other, but let's see, Giga Impact is 150 base power, whereas Bulldoze would be 60 times 2 is 120. So basically, is Raikou's Bulldoze the equivalent of at least 30 base power? I think it would be, even not being a special, or not being a physical attacker, plus the guaranteed chance to hit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Bulldoze is the best strategy here. And for some reason I put Bulldoze in different slots, so I'm going to make sure I hit the right one. Alright, here we go. Quick attack, that's okay. Shouldn't really make much of a difference. Now the triple battles, they have a lot of, yeah, it should be okay, because that took out almost half just with Raikou. They have a lot of strategies which are designed to kind of mess you up and make you take more than one turn, which you'll probably see. So I did the math, and the probability of me beating this with my strategy, assuming nothing went really weird. Well, even, I mean, that's actually built in, is the really weird stuff. But assuming there was something I didn't expect to be a risk, there was a 77% chance of beating it in one run. Obviously, that didn't happen. The 23% chance came in, but you know, that's luck. There's always a little bit of luck when it comes to Pokemon. But okay, this lady is the final boss here of the double battles, and because we've planned accordingly, we should be able to beat her very easily. As you can see, she has 2 Shedinjas, and yeah, so Shedinja, for those of you who don't know, has an ability called Wonder Guard, which means it can only be affected by moves that are super effective against it, and it's Bug and Ghost type. So thankfully that gives it quite a few weaknesses. Yeah, you guys might remember we actually faced a Shedinja back at the Inver battle at the very start of the game when I was complaining because at level 20 you don't have many super effective moves against Shedinja. But now we do. So this is the reason I want Flamethrower, just to make sure it's a guaranteed hit. And we're going to use Crunch, which is a Dark type move, so super effective against the Ghost type Shedinja, and that should do it. Watch their health bar. Yep, 1 HP, so as long as you can hit them, they are easy to knock out. They're basically like a ghost of their prior evolution, I guess, or a shell or something. Kind of inspired by cicadas, I assume, like a cicada shell. Cool idea for a Pokemon, but a very unusual one. Alright, and that's it. That's the double battles. And as we start our triple battles, which are making me hungry, I don't actually know what a croquet is. A Magnemite, is that how you say a croquet? I don't know. I don't know much about it. I assume it's French, but I don't know. A croquette? I don't know. Probably the first one I had. But they sound good. And we're about to have some ramen in the next one. I do know what ramen is, and I do like ramen, so now I'm hungry. And there's my bonus metal powder, which I think is like a Ditto item or something. It buffs Ditto's defense or speed or something, but we're not going to use it. But I mainly just wanted to do this for the accomplishment and to get a chance to use the legendary dogs. So good job, Raikou. Good job, Entei. Now let's switch up some items. And I'm going to put, give me 1 second here. So I'm going to put Dialga in the front, and then Zekrom and Lugia. So yeah, the challenge I gave myself is basically I want to use these 3 Pokemon, because they're 3 of the most powerful we've captured and haven't used yet. And then, yeah, that was basically the only limitation. Then try to give them moves and level them as necessary in order to give myself the best chance at a clean sweep. Right, we're going to move Life Orb. Actually, I don't need the Life Orb. But I do want to move the Choice Band. We're going to give that to Zekrom, who is a physical attacker. And we're going to give the Choice Specs to Lugia, who is a special attacker. And Lugia is actually more defensive, which is why I really need to give, I want to say her, but him, her, it, the Choice Specs to make sure she actually has a decent special attack stat. And can keep up with Dialga and Zekrom. Zekrom actually is the most powerful because it has a very high attack stat plus the Choice Band. Dialga has a very high special attack stat but no boost. Lugia has a lower special attack stat but has the boost from the Choice Specs. And there's a reason we are giving Dialga the Choice Scarf. So let me just show you a preview of their moves. But yeah, my challenge is basically to find the combination of moves and attacks that could beat this challenge at the lowest level possible. So yeah, this should be it. I'm going to do a save here. Hopefully the game doesn't crash or the recording doesn't crash. Because there is about a 67% chance that I have to restart at some point during this. Which is going to suck, but, you know. there are just some strategies the enemy has which are like, unless you choose very unique Pokemon, it's almost impossible to beat, and or to guarantee beating. And you know, one Pokemon that's suitable for one part of the challenge might not be suitable for the next. So, as an example, like the second trainer, all of his Pokemon are apparently holding Bright Powder, which gives your Pokemon a 90% chance to hit, even if they're using a 100% accurate move. So, you could try to have 3 Pokemon with like Swift or something, but then you'd have to really level them anyway, and it's better to take the chance, I think. Alright, but the first 3 Pokemon you guys have seen before. If you don't remember, the strategy here is that Lilligant is actually holding a Choice Scarf and knows Teeter Dance. In fact, I think it only knows Teeter Dance, which will not confuse the 2 Licky Lickies because they have own tempo, but it will confuse all 3 of my Pokemon. So if you don't take out Licky Licky, if you don't move first before not Licky Licky, if you don't move first before Lilligant and take her out in one hit, this battle is going to go very poorly. So this is one of the reasons, I would say actually the main reason why Dialga has the Choice Scarf, and we're going to use an Ice Beam, which is super effective, to take out Lilligant in one hit, and then a very boosted Fusion Bolt and a Choice Spect Aeroblast should take out both Licky Lickies. Now Aeroblast is basically like Sacred Fire, it has a 95% chance of hitting, so there is a little bit of risk here. And back when I did like a test run at like level 75 or so, it was not a one-hit knockout. I might have even done it at 80. But at 85, it should be a one-hit knockout. Plus it has a high crit chance. Okay, it's a hit. So will it be a knockout? I think it should be. Yes. Licky Licky has a lot of HP, but it is 20 levels lower. And even though Dialga doesn't have the best special attack, with the Choice Specs and the Stab and Aeroblast being a very strong 100 base power move, it was more than enough. So getting back to what I was saying before about what game I'll play next. So I was looking up some of the strong trainers in that game, and you do get to rematch the gym leaders, you get to rematch the Elite Four twice it looks like, and your rival, and they actually have really strong, diverse teams during the rematches. Not sure they do during the original run, but because of that I was actually really excited to face them, and actually I'm even a little bit more excited to face them than Platinum, because I reminded myself a little bit of their teams in Platinum, and just because there were like less Pokemon then, and a lot of them in Platinum I think still have like 5 Pokemon instead of 6. I'm actually a little more excited for the rematches in Brilliant Diamond than I would be in Platinum. Alright, so this is the one that has the 3 Bright Powders, so we have about a 73% chance of hitting all 3 of our attacks, and there's really nothing we can do but cross our fingers and hope that we don't get unlucky. Ice Beam is super effective. The good news is Swoobat is pretty weak, so as long as we land these attacks, which will be super effective, but they really don't need to be. As long as we land them, then this should be a piece of cake. Alright, there's 1. There's 2. And yes, hit, okay. For a second there I didn't see the animation starting and I was worried, but it did. Alright, so that actually, even getting past those first 2 battles helps a lot. It's actually going to be, I think, the 6th of the 8 battles where we're going to have to do a lot of risk. Because the enemy has a strategy that I just don't have a good counter to, except for, you know, hoping I don't get unlucky. We have, I think, a 56% chance of winning that battle. And you might be skeptical, like, how does he know exactly the chance of winning any battle? But because these are all one shots, unless something goes wrong, and actually, it's not actually 56%, it's actually a little more dynamic than that. But in most of these, it's just a matter of calculating, you know, most of these moves are 100% chance to hit. So, like in that first one, it was 100% times 100% times 95%, which is 95%, based on the accuracy of the moves. But the third to the last one is actually a little bit more interesting because it really depends on which of your Pokemon the AI decides to target. So it's there's some risk there too, and I don't really know how the AI makes that decision. So this strategy is really interesting, and I had to really adjust their move sets to get past it. So this trainer has 3 Pokemon that, as you can see, all know Intimidate, and Intimidate in multi-battles affects all Pokemon on the opposite side of the field, which makes it very powerful. They also know Snarl, which is a move that affects all of your opponents and reduces their special attack. So if you don't knock them out in one hit, they're going to really ruin your challenge. They're going to just slow you. Like while I was training against these guys, there were times I didn't get like halfway through this streak because I spent 3 or 4 turns trying to wear these guys down. They're also all holding citrus berries, and they're fairly bulky too. Thankfully, with our high levels and with our move sets, we should be okay. So what we're going to do is use Aura Sphere against Scrafty, which is super effective, and even though we don't have like a choice specs or anything, it should be enough. We are going to have to use Draco Meteor against Arcanine. And this is the reason I gave Zekrom Draco Meteor, because after 3 Intimidates, I think that'll make our physical attacks do like 25% of what they would normally do, which means there's no way we're going to knock out Arcanine with Fusion Bolt, Dragon Claw, and we can't use Fly. It's a 2-hit move. We won't be using that, except I should have used that to travel. I forgot we actually do have Fly, but anyway. But Draco Meteor being a special move should do the trick. I was going to use Thunder, but then I realized Draco Meteor is more powerful and more accurate. For some reason I was thinking Draco Meteor in multi-battles hit like everybody, and therefore does less damage to each one. But it doesn't. You can choose your enemy just like any normal move. So it has a 90% chance to hit, but as long as it does, it should be a knockout. And then against Crocodile, we're going to use Ice Beam, which is super effective. And of course, also boosted by the choice specs. So really the only risk here is that our Draco Meteor misses, and it has a 90% chance of hitting. So let's hope that it does, because I would really like not to have to redo this again. Obviously, I would, just like before, do it off screen, but still. So I wouldn't waste your time regardless, but I don't want to waste my time either. Okay, here we go. Oh, it missed. I shouldn't have said anything, but anyway. Alright, well, I'm going to restart this, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are again, and let's hope we don't get unlucky this time. Once again, Aura Sphere, and Draco Meteor, and Ice Beam. Okay, so what I was saying before, it's annoying too having to redo this because then I like lose my train of thought. But yeah, I was really excited to play the new game, plus like the new graphics and new console, and just having your Pokemon follow you is really cool. So in general, I was looking forward to it. And then I started kind of planning my team. All right, here we go, and it's a hit. Yes, nice. And okay, so there are some moves that I could have gotten in Platinum, or can get in Platinum, that I can't get in Brilliant Diamond, whether because they're egg moves, or because they're move tutors that don't exist, or it might be a couple other reasons too, I can't remember. But I would have to do slightly different move sets for some of the Pokemon that I want to use. But that, I didn't love that in some of the cases, and I'll probably explain why a little more in that Let's Play when I do it. But overall, like, I was able to find different moves that I think, would still be pretty fun, and would be more than sufficient for the game. So the Pokemon I was worried about that I was going to trade over for Platinum, that I was like, oh, I wonder if I can't get it at all, or have to have a friend who already has one to trade me in a Gen 8 game, actually can be just caught regularly in Brilliant Diamond. So that's not a problem. It actually, I had to change around a couple moves for it, but that's not too big of a problem. All right, real quick, so Clefable is weak to Flash Cannon, so we're going to use Flash Cannon. Zekrom doesn't have anything super effective. Let's just give it a nice good Fusion Bolt, which is our best move. And same thing with Lugia, same reason. We're going to use Aeroblast, and really hope that Aeroblast doesn't miss. It does, of course, have that 5% miss chance, but sometimes you gotta take a risk and hope it pays off. So yeah, overall I could have chosen different moves, or could choose different moves, and make that work. So as I was going through kind of choosing my different moves and figuring out, if there were any changes, I realized one of the other Pokemon that I want to raise in Platinum. Hey, critical hit. Didn't need it, but nice to have regardless. Much rather a crit than a miss. So And the tricky part is this Pokemon, um, there really aren't. I want a Pokemon. The type that this Pokemon is, I want to have a Pokemon of that type in my team. I won't tell you which one. I don't want to spoil anything. If I did, you could probably guess. But um, and there aren't that many Pokemon of that type available in the national decks, which is what you're restricted to in Diamond and Pearl. And unfortunately, they decided to keep that in the remakes, unlike Platinum, which had much more Pokemon. I do think they should have just gone with like a remake of Platinum instead. Even if they wanted to break it out into like two versions again and call it Diamond and Pearl just to make more money or whatever. But that's not what they did. All right, this one should be pretty easy. I don't even know what the strategy here really is. Um, it might be like it's flinching. I'm not really sure what these three are trying to do, but we should be able to beat them all in one hit and using moves that don't miss. So this should be pretty straightforward as long as I don't hit the wrong button. So we're going to use Flash Can against Aerodactyl, who is Rock type, and we'll take super effective damage. Just to be pretty sure, I'm going to switch things up a little bit and use Dragon Claw against Altaria. And again, Zekrom is our best attacker because it has a very high attack stat and choice band, so that should be no problem at all. Altaria has a weaker defense than special defense, I believe, as well. And that also frees us up to use Ice Beam against Tropius, which is ×4 super effective, since Tropius is grass and flying type. Maybe it's like a dinosaur kind of theme? Not really sure. But yeah, this one almost seems like filler. Alright, so yeah, so that was an issue. That kind of got me a little bit sad tonight when I was looking at that. So I'm still, despite all that, leaning towards Brilliant Diamond. It occurred to me again that even though I've kind of made my peace with the experience share mechanic, there is still the whole like friendliness mechanic or whatever it's called, where not friendship or is it friendship is the one that's the old mechanic from Gen 2. I think affection is different, which confuses me because they sound really similar. And I think in some games they actually are just combined into the same mechanic. And these might be one of them, but it does exist, so there are still random effects that your Pokemon can get that your enemy can't, which is really one I don't like. I don't like too much chance, too much luck. I want Pokemon to be mostly a game of strategy with some luck to keep it interesting. But let me finish my thought, then we'll get to this fight here. But so one, just the thing that it's so random, whether they do additional crits or they shake off status conditions or they hold on with 1 HP left. You know, the fact that it's random is one part of it I don't like. And the second part I don't like is that your enemy doesn't get that advantage either. So it kind of gives the player an unfair advantage. And yes, I do get. It's cool that your Pokemon like hung on for you, and because it really liked you. I feel like it's a little bit overpowered. But maybe the new game is tuned for that. So, you know, it's one more thing that I don't love about the new games, but I can probably live with it. All right, so this is the one that's actually going to be the hardest one, and I think if we beat this one in one shot, fingers crossed, then as long as I don't do something stupid, we should be able to clear the whole thing. Also, the final battle, just to clarify my goals here, I want to see the final battle. If we don't beat it in one shot, I won't redo the whole thing because I really don't care that much. It's just going to come down to luck, and I don't feel like keep flipping coins all day or all night. Yeah, but hopefully we'll defeat them all in one shot all the way through. Alright, so we're going to use Flash Cannon, which is super effective against Whimsicott, being a part fairy type, fairy and grass. We're going to use... Actually, I'm going to use Fusion Ball. I was going to teach it Giga Impact, but I realized when I did some testing... This is, I think, as far as I got in the test. No, I get to the next one. Fusion Bolt is actually powerful enough to take it out in one shot, or at least it was before. I think we're 5 levels higher than the last time I did this during training. Alright, and Ice Beam is super effective. So is Aeroblast, but Ice Beam doesn't miss, whereas Aeroblast does. Now, what's a little bit annoying here is that all these Whimsicotts have the Prankster ability, which lets them go first. And they all use Stun Spore. Oh, 2 misses. Okay. So we have one Pokemon Stun Spored, which means it's paralyzed. And that means Lugia has a 25% chance of not attacking. So we have a 75% chance of being okay here, which is good, but not great. You know, it's a solid C. So we just gotta get like not. Oh, mm, that's really unfortunate. Okay, well, that is what it is. All right, I'm going to get back to where we are right now off screen, and I'll see you guys in a few. All right, we are back versus the Whimsicott. And in case it wasn't clear what happened last time, um, Whimsicott is the ability Prankster, and that means that as long as they use a status move, a non-damaging move, they will always go first, unless I have like Quick Attack or Extreme Speed, which I don't. Um, and they will always use Stun Spore. So in order to beat them, actually let's use Flash Cannon, just in case it matters. It probably doesn't. Um, so in order to beat them, we have to get lucky with the paralysis and fight through it. Now there's a chance sometimes they attack the same Pokemon with Stun Spore. Yeah, like that, for example. Okay, good. So we still, just like last time, have only one Pokemon paralyzed. So we now have a 75% chance. And if we, again, don't get unlucky, then it should be easy from here on out. Oh my god, not again! Lugia! Urgh. Alright, this is getting really frustrating as I kind of worried it would. But sometimes you get bad luck, so I'm going to restart and be back again. And we are back. Third time's the charm, or let's hope so at least. Okay, Flash Cannon against that Whimsicott, and Fusion Bolt against the middle one, and Ice Beam against the right one. And I did realize that actually because Zekrom is electric type, it cannot be paralyzed in this generation, so that's why at least two of them are attacking the same target. Oh, interesting. Now, why did only one get a chance to use Stun Spore? Did they use a different move? Do they have a different move? They might have a different move. Some of these Pokemon only have one move, I think, but clearly, Oh, and we used Ice Beam! Okay, good. So now we should be safe. Alright, so everything from here on out should be okay. Assuming I don't make any really dumb mistakes. Although actually this next battle could be a little tough. I don't remember if I've done a test run of it or not. I think I did. I think it was okay, but hopefully there was no like damage spread. Actually, the time before this, when I started the first battle, my Aeroblast did not actually knock out Licky. It survived with like 1 or 2 HP, so I had to restart that one as well. So it goes to show that sometimes you can just get a bad roll on the damage spread as well. But anyway, 2 more battles to go. And just to finish what I was saying before, as long as I can get the other Pokemon I want to train in a Generation 4 game traded to me, then I should be okay. However, I did some research, and it doesn't seem... So you can't trade from Sword and Shield to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, at least not yet. But you can trade from one Shining Pearl or Diamond game to the other. So what I don't know is, can you trade over a Pokemon that is not in the national dex? I couldn't find information to confirm that. So I think what's going to happen is that if you can, I will probably do a Let's Play of Brilliant Diamond. If you can't, I'm probably just going to give up on this whole thing and go back down to doing Platinum. I'm not sure if it'll be now or later, but at some point. Because there's just... I want to play Brilliant Diamond, but there are so many things kind of piling up against it that at some point it's just not worth it. Alright, so as you can see, they have 3 Ditto with the move Imposter, its hidden ability, which means they don't have to use Transform, they're just instantly transformed. Although I think they keep their own HP, if I'm not mistaken, which is good. Alright, so we are going to use Aura Sphere, which is super effective against the Dialga Ditto, and then we're going to sort of cross-attack the other two. This is one reason I very carefully planned this out once I knew what their Pokemon were, because Lugia is very defensive, as I said. So I want to have my strongest attacker able to use a super effective move against that Lugia Ditto to make sure I knock it out. And then because we have choice specs on Lugia, that should be enough to use the super effective Ice Beam against Zekrom and knock it out. Originally I had Lugia as the Choice Scarf one, but with a low special attack stat and a item that didn't boost its power, I was really worried that this fight would be next to impossible. So, alright, this should do it. Once again, fingers crossed. And if so, we should be about to face the Fair Prince. Alright, here comes the Ice Beam. Is it enough to knock out Ditto Zekrom? It is. And I'm almost positive that the Fusion Bolt, what's it called? It went too fast, didn't even see it, but regardless, super effective, high attack stat, and Choice Band, very good. Alright, and here we go, the final fight at long last. Hopefully we can one-shot this one too. Even if we don't, I'm going to count this as a win though. Now the one downside about wanting to have a Pokemon trade to me means I have to wait for people that I know to get to the point where they have the national dex and can trade this Pokemon that I want. It's not even like a super powerful Pokemon, it's just not in the national dex. So regardless of what I do, I'm not going to be starting a Brilliant Time in Let's Play right away, which is another reason I might want to just go to Platinum again. I'm really torn, so I'll have to think about that. And like I said, if you guys want to see one or the other in particular, let me know. If I see the comments before I choose, then I will certainly take them into consideration. But anyway, let's put that aside and focus on Alpha Sapphire for now. I knew you'd win your way through. From when we first met, I had a feeling that someday we'd end up meeting here. I don't remember meeting this guy before. But your sitting in that chair is a sin that shall not be forgiven. That chair was made only for the royalty of the Mauville Food Court. That's right, it's a chair made for me, the Fair Prince. That's a pun on fair, F-A-I-R, Prince. Well then, it's about time for you to behold the power of the Prince. The trainer or the noodles, which will get soggy first. Alright, get your rear out of that chair. Reminds me of Max from the anime a little bit. Wonder if that's who he's based on, but it's Fair Prince Trencherman. That's a name for you. Who names their kid Trencherman? Maybe it's like a last name, like Newman, he goes by. Regardless, he has 3 very cool Pokemon in 2 Lucario and a Togekiss. Some of my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon. So I haven't trained a Lucario. That'd be a cool one to train. But well, actually, I have my very first Diamond, but not recently and not on screen. Will I in the next playthrough? You'll have to stay tuned and find out. And I believe these guys all know Extreme Speed and have a King's Rock to flinch you. So again, it's just a roll of the dice. Nothing I can really do about that. But we're going to use our best moves against them and hope that we can defeat them in one shot. So Aura Sphere is super effective against Lucario. Fusion Bolt is super effective against Togekiss. And Earth Power, why we brought that, should be good against Lucario. And there comes the Extreme Speed. Now, the good news is King's Rock only has a 10% chance of flinching. But, you know, they're both using it, so that kind of compounds it. Okay, so Zekrom was the one who was attacked. Let's see if he gets flinched. Hopefully not. But like I said, win or lose, this is, I'm considering this a win by just seeing this opponent, which is what I really wanted to do. I figured since we hadn't seen him before, I would go for it and give me a reason to use these 3 and do something kind of cool with them, not just facing the same trainers. Oh, it flinched. Okay, well, it would have been nice if we had won this, but I'm not going to redo it again. I think you get like the Deep Sea Tooth or the Deep Sea Scale or something, which is used to evolve Clamperl into Gorbis or Huntail. Oh, that's right. We are choice locked. Doesn't matter when it's only 1 attack, but it will now. Earth Power will do nothing, but I'm choice locked, so is what it is. And Aura Sphere is doubly resisted, being Fairy and Flying type, so this will not be a knockout. Alright, here's the Fusion Bolt. And I love Togekiss, it's my second favorite Pokemon. I trained one in my Heart Gold Let's Play, which back when it was normal and flying, and very much enjoyed that, so definitely recommend watching that one if you haven't already. That was a lot of fun. Alright, so it wasn't quite 8 turns, our noodles are soggy, but hey, We beat the Fair Prince, which is cool. Now, if you face this again, from what I've read, you don't get to face the Fair Prince again. He's a one-time only fight. There's another biker guy who replaces him with like, I think like a Nidoqueen and Nidoking and something. Um, I'm not going to bother with that because I think we've done enough now, and we've faced pretty much all the cool trainers in the game now. In fact, I think the only real fight that's left that we haven't done, that's worth doing, is our final rematch against Wally, our rival. And of course, that will be in the next and last episode. Oh, he's back again. I lost that chair. I had always felt out of place at home, at school, everywhere. That chair was the only place I could ever relax. Well, now I feel bad. Like, if you want the chair, dude, I just wanted to eat some ramen. Like, it's all yours now. That's why I crushed everyone who tried to battle me for this seat. In time, I became the ruler of this place. I became the Fair Prince. But that's all over now. It's over for me. I realized something during my battle with you, trainer. I don't need to find my place. I need to make a place for myself. Oh, well said. Trainer, I can no longer call myself the Fair Prince. The title is yours now. And so, from now on, you will be Fair Prince II. I've decided to go make a place for myself. The next generation, take care of Mauville Food Court for me. I hope I can see you again somewhere someday. Okay, then see you later. Alright, nice little weird plot there, but very true. It's all you can do in this world is make a little home for yourself and those you love and try to live a happy life. Alright, but on those words of wisdom from the Fair Prince, I think we're going to call this an episode. And yeah, definitely didn't get lucky the first couple times, but we did in the end. And had some fun using Suicune, Raikou, Entei, Dialga, Lugia, and Zekrom. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing some different Pokemon. But when we come back, we'll be back with our normal team one last time for one last battle. So as always, thank you all for watching. See you again soon.